As you go through your life, you will notice pretty women, and sometimes you'll have an opportunity with a pretty woman. She'll be open and will be showing some interest in you. Maybe you're walking along the street and you notice her looking at you, or you're out at a park and she's walking her dog, or you're at a party and she is looking at you and showing some interest, or she works in a retail setting and she seems to be open and showing interest in you in particular. Alternatively, you're waiting for your coffee and standing next to a woman in a cafe. The opportunity is right there in front of you, and she could actually be single, right? She could be looking for a boyfriend, hoping to meet a guy and not be getting any results. Maybe she's used dating apps and things haven't worked out, or she knows that dating apps don't necessarily have the best end result in terms of relationships. Or she just wants to be able to meet a guy in a more organic way, in a more natural way, where they meet in person, and she's hoping that something happens. Unfortunately, most single guys in a situation like that will begin to feel anxious and afraid of starting an interaction with a woman. The guy will start asking himself questions like, what if she rejects me? What if she has a boyfriend? What if I walk over and I make a fool of myself? I embarrass myself? What if she reacts badly and humiliates me in front of everyone? What if everyone looks at me and thinks that I'm being a sleaze or harassing her? What if I'll be interrupting her if I walk over and talk to her? Maybe she doesn't want to be interrupted. What if she reacts badly as a result of that? So when a guy is thinking like that, or when he has that type of mindset, then he's naturally going to feel more anxiety and fear, and in almost all cases, he's not going to go ahead and start interacting with her. It's just going to seem too overwhelming, too risky, and it's just not worth it. So he walks away. And then if he lives in a big city, maybe he has another opportunity like that a week later, or a month later, or 2 months later. Yet if he lives in a smaller city or a town, he might not have an opportunity like that for another year or 2 or 3. Regardless of where the guy lives, if 2 or 3 years passes in his life and he doesn't act on those moments where he has an opportunity with a pretty woman, then he's just as single as the other guy. It doesn't necessarily matter how many opportunities you get, it's about being ready to take the opportunities that you have with pretty women when they come your way. So how do you do that? What I'm going to teach you in this video is what I call the MPF rule. And the first letter, M, stands for mindset, and it means use the right mindset. So when you have an opportunity with a pretty girl or a pretty woman, don't start asking yourself, what if, and then a whole bunch of negative things. What if I get rejected? What if it goes wrong? What if she has a boyfriend, and so on? Instead, ask yourself, what if it goes well? What if it works out? What if she likes me? What if I'm able to make her feel attracted? What if she becomes my girlfriend? What if next week she's over at my place and I wake up on a Sunday morning and she's cuddling into me and we had spent the Saturday night together having sex and hanging out? What if she is the right girl for me? So what a mindset like that does is give you the courage in the moment to take a chance and do it, rather than letting yet another opportunity with a pretty woman slip through your fingers. Now, if you ever get stuck and you can't build up enough courage in the moment to push yourself to just go over and talk to her, always remember that all sorts of guys can get themselves a pretty girlfriend. You will have seen guys and wondered, how did he get her? Why can't I get a girl like that? Remember that if other guys can do it, then you can do it too. It's not impossible. You can get yourself a pretty girlfriend. The next letter of the MPF rule is P, and it stands for preparation. Be prepared to get the result. Some guys are naturally good at talking to women, making them feel attracted and moving things along, but they lack the courage to walk over and talk to a pretty woman that they find attractive when an opportunity comes their way. So for guys like that, they really only need the mindset where they think to themselves, what if it works out? What if she likes me? What if she's single? And so on. Then the guy goes over, talks to her, and almost certainly gets a result. Yet most guys aren't like that. Most guys have no idea how to attract women during an interaction and are hoping to get lucky, or the guy has some idea. For example, he knows women like confident guys, they like guys that can make them laugh and so on, but he doesn't really know how to bring that into an interaction and keep it going for 5 minutes, for example. He may be able to start a conversation with a woman and say something, but then he runs out of things to say, or he can't keep the conversation going and keep it interesting, so it fizzles out. Now, the thing is, some guys who have no idea how to attract women can simply build up the courage to walk over and talk to a pretty woman, and in some cases, the guy is going to get lucky. He's going to get a result. She's going to like him, they're going to get along, and they then get into a relationship. While that's great for the short term, it doesn't necessarily mean that the guy will do well in the long run. For example, if he doesn't know how to attract women and he got the woman by luck, then in most cases, he is eventually going to start to feel a bit insecure in the relationship, and he may become jealous, clingy, and overprotective. The woman may then end up dumping him or cheating on him and then dumping him, and he will then be destroyed emotionally, right? The pretty girl that he got, that he loved, that he really wanted to be with, has just turned her back on him and gone, right? She has broken up with him or has gone for another guy and left him behind in the dust. So the thing is, sometimes a guy can get lucky and get himself a pretty girl. But in almost all cases, if a guy doesn't know what he's doing and isn't able to make a woman feel attracted when he starts talking to her, then she's not going to be interested and she may openly reject him. For example, if a guy is walking in a park and he sees a woman walking her dog and finds her attractive, builds up the courage to start talking to her, but then starts talking to her in a nervous, unsure of himself kind of way, then she's almost certainly not going to feel attracted to him and she will almost certainly reject him. Yet, if the same guy talked to her in a confident, self-assured manner and was using some humor and being a bit charming and charismatic, she will almost certainly find him attractive and he will almost certainly be able to get her phone number. So for example, the guy is walking through a park, he sees a pretty woman and she seems to be showing some interest in him. She's looking at him, she seems open, and she seems interested. He then says the following in a nervous way. "Oh, hi, I'm walking past, I thought I'd say hi. You got a cute dog there. What's its name?" Compared to saying it in a confident way. "Hey, how you doing? Just walking through the park and noticed you. Thought I'd stop and say hi. Got a cute dog there. What's its name?" "How you doing, Jack? So, is this your dog or are you like a professional dog walker or something?" "Alright, it's your dog, alright. Well, there goes asking you to walk my dogs for me." I'm just kidding, I don't have any dogs. "I'm Dan, by the way. What's your name?" "Jenny. Oh, nice to meet you." After a bit of chit-chat, the guy can then get her phone number, and if he knows how to successfully get women out on dates, he and her will be kissing and possibly having sex within days or a week. She may then end up becoming his girlfriend and potentially even his wife, all from him having the courage to say hi and the ability to attract her and get things moving along between them. So when you have those rare or, depending on your situation, frequent opportunities with pretty women who seem interested, then make sure that you are prepared to get the result. For example, you know what to say to start a conversation in different situations, how to keep a conversation going and keep it interesting, how to maintain your confidence during a conversation with a woman that you find very attractive, how to make her feel attracted to you during the conversation, how to get her phone number, how to initiate physical touch or get her to initiate it, how to move in for a kiss or how to get her to initiate the first kiss, what to say to get her to go home with you on the first night you meet her or at the end of your first date together, how to make her really want sex on the first night or on the first or second date, what to say and do to ensure that she is definitely ready to have sex and truly wanting it before you begin. Essentially, you're prepared to get the result. You aren't going to stuff up and lose your opportunity at some point along the way and then have to wait who knows how long until you get another opportunity with a pretty woman who is interested in you or seems open to you. You are going to successfully attract and hook up with her or attract her and begin a relationship with her. You are going to get the result because you are prepared and you know what to do. The next letter of the MPF rule is F, and it stands for follow through. Follow through until you get what you really want. So sometimes a guy will build up the courage to talk to a pretty woman and he'll make her feel attracted, but he won't get her number. He'll be too afraid to follow through and get what he really wants, which is maybe sex or a relationship with her. He'll just stop at making her feel attracted. Alternatively, he'll get her number but never call her because he is worried about things going wrong, right? He starts thinking all the what if negatives rather than the what if positives. In other cases, he gets her number and only ever texts her. He just keeps texting and texting and texting until she eventually stops texting back. Finally, another common scenario is where a guy will learn exactly what to say and do to make women feel attracted, but he'll never actually take that step and go ahead and do it. He'll just look at women, find them attractive. In some cases, he'll have opportunities with pretty women and he'll just let them slip through his fingers because he doesn't actually get over there, make her feel attracted, and get the result. Now, the thing is, you may talk to a pretty woman tomorrow and be one and done. Meaning, you talk to her, she feels attracted, you get the result, and you start a sexual relationship with her. You end up being committed and staying together for life. Yet it might also be the case that you talk to a pretty woman next week and don't get the result that you want, and then talk to another pretty woman the next week and actually get the result that you want. Alternatively, it may take months for you to get there because you may be starting off at a much lower level of understanding in terms of how to attract women compared to other guys. Or you may need to give yourself a couple of weeks or a month or so to really transform by using the confidence-based mindsets that I teach in the flow, for example, before you honestly, sincerely believe that you are good enough for the pretty women that you talk to, and therefore you don't just stop at having a conversation with her. You don't stop at just getting her phone number or only texting her until she goes cold. You follow through correctly and get the result that you really want. Attracting women by choice is a skill that you can learn and master. It's sort of like when you learn to drive a car. Initially, when you get into the car for the first time, the instructor or whoever is teaching you says that you need to look at the rear view mirror, you need to be looking at the speed, you need to be changing gears, you need to be looking at the side mirror, and so on. There's a lot going on. In addition to all the road rules that you got to follow, you got to look out for other drivers, etc. Initially, that can feel kind of overwhelming and awkward. I can't do it. There's so many things that I have to focus on all at once. But when you begin to drive, you get a bit of experience, eventually you drive without even having to think about it. It's simple for you, yet it's actually a complex skill that you have learned and mastered. The same applies to the complex skill of attracting women, which ends up feeling extremely easy once you understand how to do it and you've had some experience with it. Some guys start off and they try to be a bit more confident or use some playfully challenging humor or use some flirting in an interaction with a woman and they feel awkward. Yet, if that guy continues, he then masters the skill and as a result, he is then one of the guys who can naturally attract women during an interaction. He's not the guy who stands there wondering how on earth he's going to get the pretty girl to like him. He's not putting on a nice guy act and hoping that the woman will take pity on him. He's not hoping that he'll somehow get lucky with this pretty girl because she'll give him a chance for some random reason. Instead, he's standing there in front of her, confident, knowing exactly how to make her feel attracted, and he's doing it easily and automatically. Other guys look on and wonder how the heck he's getting this pretty girl to like him. It doesn't make any sense to them. But the guy who understands it knows exactly what's going on, and he's enjoying all the good things that come from it as a result. At the start of this video, I taught you a courage-based way of thinking, a courage-based mindset, where you think about the what-if positives. If you want my ultimate confidence-based mindset, that is in the flow. It's not something that I can ever teach on YouTube. Everything that I've recorded in my programs only ever stays there. The confidence-based mindset in the flow not only makes you feel truly confident when you're around a pretty woman that you find attractive, but you feel confident for the rest of your life around women. Additionally, women feel automatically attracted to you because they sense your true confidence around them. They sense it, they feel it, and they love it. So if you want to be able to get laid or get a girlfriend easily and feel totally confident while doing it, then I highly recommend that you read my ebook, The Flow, or listen to the audiobook version, The Flow on Audio. One final point that I want to make for you in this video is to get you to think about the years of your life that have passed by already, where you had opportunities with pretty girls or pretty women who really liked you. It was obvious there was something there between you and her, but you didn't act on it. Or it wasn't that obvious. She seemed open and interested. You had a chance in a moment, whether she was walking past you or she was standing next to you or whatever it may be, and you didn't act on it. Those years of your life have gone by and you will never get them back. But from where you are today and what you're going to experience in the future, it can be a completely different story for you. You can start taking those opportunities that you have with pretty women and getting the result that you want, whether that be you having sex with lots of different pretty women or just getting yourself a pretty girlfriend to settle down with. Don't ever fall into the trap of thinking that you can't get the results that you want with women, but other guys can. Other guys can get pretty girlfriends, but not you. You can get yourself a pretty girlfriend or start having sex with lots of different pretty women. It's not possible to pick up every pretty woman in the world, but when you are prepared, you will be able to attract and pick up many of the pretty women that you meet. That is better than nothing. It's better than just letting opportunities slip through your fingers. If you're able to pick up 5 out of the 10 pretty women that you talk to, or 8 out of the 10 pretty women that you talk to, that's better than nothing, right? You get the result, you get what you want. You enjoy love, sex, and good times with pretty women, or you settle down with your perfect girl. So remember the MPF rule: mindset, preparation, follow through, and then do it. Get the result.